AITA for going scorched earth after my fiancée cheated at her bachelorette party? Hello, this is how I turned my own ceremony into a live audit and walked away before saying I do. Names have been changed. How I met the one. I met Natalie the way sensible people meet their soulmate, arguing over a squeaky card at Costco. We both grabbed it at the same time. She smirked and said, "You can have the jet engine," and grabbed a quieter one. 3 accidental aisle run-ins later, we were swapping numbers at the checkout because neither of us had a membership yet, which was a lie we both found amusing. If you are wondering how 2 people end up talking for 3 hours in a warehouse surrounded by 55-pound jars of peanut butter, the trick is this. You just keep bumping into the same person. We kept crossing paths, from the meat section to electronics, to the aisle with rugs big enough to cover a studio apartment. The conversation just flowed. She worked in early childhood education. I am an IT project manager with a knack for fixing broken things and a face that apparently inspires trust in elderly people who need help finding batteries. We agreed on a hike for a first date and saved each other in our phones like adults. No games. First date, a hike. Second date, her trying to teach me how to make pancakes that did not look like surgical gauze. Third date, on a couch, her in an oversized sweatshirt, my dog showing her a level of loyalty that felt like a betrayal. It was easy. I had never dated someone where everything was easy. I dated people who collected problems like they were Funko Pops. 6 months in, the Costco joke was our bit. We would see a squeaky card, and she would give an exaggerated wink as if to say, "Fate is being loud today." I bought a simple ring, no payment plan, and proposed at the trailhead where she once pretended to be impressed that I could read maps and not get us lost. She ugly cried. I held her. My dog sneezed. It felt perfect. I did the practical things most guys ignore. I had the ring appraised the same day. I put the receipt in a fireproof folder. I took a photo of the serial number and saved it to my cloud notes. I opened a separate savings account called Wedding Overages because vendors love fees like raccoons love shiny lids. I set a boundary early on. If we argue, we stop the task and come back to it later. It was not romantic. It was adult. She called it endearingly boring. I called it a recipe for a good night's sleep. Her family is traditional. Church on Sundays. Casseroles with mystery ingredients. Her dad liked me because I show up when I say I will, which is apparently a rare skill in 2025. Her mom took my hands when we told them and said, "We will take care of the wedding. You two just focus on building a life." I grew up in a practical, middle-class family, so when a family offers to pay for a big party, you do not argue. You say thank you and make spreadsheets. Because of the church connection, a few parents from the school were on the extended guest list. Small town, smaller world. We set the date for early September. I did the guy tasks, venue walkthroughs, food tastings, nodding politely at floral arrangements. Natalie did the vibe tasks. Colors, invitations, romantic lighting, basically, expensively dimming lights. We set up a shared wedding email for RSVPs and vendor invoices. We both had access. I set up labels and filters because I like clean inboxes and hate losing invoices the way other people hate spoilers. Life was coordinated, orderly, almost smug. I know how it sounds. Too perfect. It was, until it was not. The check engine lights started flashing about a month before the wedding. The little things started making noise. Natalie began staying out later with her friends. No, I am not the jealous type. I do not have the energy to babysit another adult, but I do notice patterns. She used to give me a heads up when she was heading home. Now, I would wake up to a 1 a.m. text. Fell asleep at Derek's. Love you. People do not fall asleep at someone's house and remember to text with perfect punctuation. She got weird with her phone. Before, she did not care if I grabbed it to set timers while we were cooking. Suddenly, it was always face down on Do Not Disturb, like it needed privacy to breathe. That is a classic red flag. You and I both know it. Still, I did not confront her. Not because I am a coward, but because I am patient. If you only get one shot to be right, you make it count. I started running quiet tests. I would ask her to airplay some music and watch her scramble for her phone like it was a baby bird. I noticed her focus modes would activate at the same times each night. I would ask for a quick timer, and she would hand me the kitchen tablet instead of her phone, as if her mobile was allergic to fingerprints. None of it is proof, it is weather. You log it, and wait for the storm to name itself. It was the same story every time. Anything involving her phone made her rush to do it herself, guarding the screen like a goalie. I kept taking notes and stayed quiet. At the same time, she got strangely, intensely nicer. Little gifts, compliments that came with a receipt. You are such a steady presence. Great. Being reliable is nice. She also started talking a lot about the bachelorette weekend. It is just a quiet girls' night, she said. Spa, silly games, face masks. You know. I said, have fun, just stay hydrated. I was not going to monitor anyone. I wanted to marry her, not be her parole officer. She kept banking good fiancé moments like coupons, but the timing was off. New cologne on a random Tuesday. A latte on my desk with a heart drawn in the foam, followed by way too much enthusiasm for a quiet girls' night, while her phone stayed face down on Do Not Disturb like it was in witness protection. That night, she made pasta and set the table like something out of a catalog. Her phone buzzed once, quickly, one of those hums you feel more than you hear. Before it went dark, I saw a preview. Bracelets confirmed, no phones. The sender's name was just an initial. She flipped the phone over like it was shy. Cute rule, I said. People obey those rules for about 6 minutes. Dinner looks amazing, I said. You deserve it, she replied. You are so stable. Furniture core, I answered. She laughed too fast. I reached for the TV remote. Should we put on some music? I got it, she said, grabbing her phone. It is already queued up. Great, I said, and let her rush to the receiver like it was going to explode without her. We ate. She asked about my day, but did not wait for the answer. Spa stuff, silly games, she said. Need me to print anything? All set, she replied, then added. You are great for not micromanaging. I am not your parole officer, I said. She smiled, her eyes drifting to the oven clock. After dinner, she said she was hopping on a quick planning call. The bedroom door was left almost closed. Almost. 15 minutes later, some muffled laughter escaped. Then her voice dropped. Color code the wristbands. No cameras. Send the bus code to N. No, the group, she said. A pause. No, he will not care. He is chill. She came out, phone still in hand. New perfume. New smile. Movie, she asked. I have got something to finish up, I said. Go on. Enjoy your planning call. I settled on the couch and let the house go quiet. The TV played a playlist I had not chosen. I heard laughter, then whispers. My suspicion did not spike. It got comfortable, sat down, and buckled its seatbelt. She holed up in the bedroom, keeping her voice low. I opened the silverware drawer once and found a folded receipt tucked behind a corkscrew. Party bus deposit, 16th night. Memo, final head count. I took a picture of it, slid it back exactly as it was, and sat there like a piece of furniture that had learned to listen. The TV kept murmuring whatever she had put on. The laughter was not for me. I noted the time on my phone, and then I did nothing, because doing nothing is how you get the whole story. When she came back from that weekend, the small signs were everywhere. A tan line on her wrist shaped like a wristband. Glitter embedded in the back floor mat that our vacuum nearly retired trying to remove. A heel in her closet with a stress fracture. The group photo caption said chill spa day, yet she had a stamp on her inner forearm shaped like a crown. It was not proof on its own, just smoke seeping from under a door. I opened a window and waited. The bachelorette weekend arrives. She leaves Friday afternoon with a duffel bag and an expression that says she has already rehearsed answers to questions I have not asked. I kissed her, told her to be safe, told my dog we were couch men for the next 2 days, and went about my life. Friday night, she sent a picture from a restaurant. Saturday afternoon, I got a picture of them on a party bus. I see no drinks. I see no men. I see a group of women trying to one-up each other with matching shirts and ridiculous glasses. Nothing illegal about that. She came back Sunday around noon. Tired in that way someone is when they have spent all their fun energy and now need to behave for the person they sleep next to. She took a long shower and sat on my lap on the couch with a, God, I missed you. Cool. I am right here, I said. If you think that line is petty, you are right. Now for the smart part. Yes, I used email. I did not check her phone. I did not follow her. I did not hack anything. I did what I do well. I watch systems and wait for someone else to make a mistake. People always do. Remember the shared wedding email? It was connected to the RSVP site, the vendor invoices, the venue, and the wedding party. I had set it up with strict filters, so anything from a known vendor went straight to the correct folder. I also set up a daily digest that forwarded to my personal email because I hate searching for things. On Monday, the daily digest included something I had not seen before. Subject: Bachelorette Throwdown. Upload your clips to MEMLock Photos. The maid of honor had linked MEMLock to our shared wedding email. There were 2 folders, Friday and Saturday. Mostly boas, sashes, and choreography that looked like cardio with glitter. Then I saw a clip with location metadata. Tap. 12:38 a.m. I opened it. The camera pans across neon city lights. Natalie is in white. Sash and tiara. 2 tall guys walk in. She kisses one, then the other. Not cheek kisses. Deeply. I downloaded the files, saved the metadata, screenshotted the album index, exported the activity log showing it was all tied to our shared email. I mailed it to myself and to Graham, my lawyer friend. His reply: public space, timestamped, no edits. Graham said it was clean. A clean green light. I also used the platform's export activity button and got the audit trail with timestamps, uploader IDs, and IP blocks. I saved hashes of the original files so no one could say I edited frames. I made duplicates on 2 separate drives. One went to my brother's house. I wrote a 1-page chain of custody note because if you were going to pull the pin, the grenade better not be labeled, he said, she said. I closed the laptop and took the dog for a walk. 3 miles of engine noise and planning. People think the impulsive decision is to blow everything up. It turns out the truly furious decision is to do nothing for a week except plan your exit with the calm of a bomb squad. I kept living like we were still fine. I did not sleep on the couch. I did not pick fights. I did not mention the bachelorette party. I was exactly the version of me she had agreed to marry. There is a reason. If she sensed me pulling away, she could call off the wedding, keep her dignity, and tell the story however she wanted. I wanted the truth to come out not just for me, but for her parents, who were planning to feed 140 people. For my family, who had invested time and money. For every person who ever said, I had no idea, when the idea was staring them in the face the whole time. I booked the DJ for an extra hour on my own dime. I told the venue coordinator I wanted to surprise Natalie with a video before the vows. We will do it right after the officiant's opening. She smiled like I was the last truly decent man on the planet. I sent her the file name, usthroughtheyears.mp4. That MP4 was what it was for the first 90 seconds. I edited the video cleanly. Hikes, cooking disasters, her hugging my dog, her helping my niece with homework. I did not want to make her a villain with cheesy text overlays. It had to feel like a normal couple's montage. At 132 seconds, the screen went to black. At 134 seconds, the rooftop clip appeared, full screen, sound up. Then a title card. Saturday, August 30th, 12:38 a.m., downtown. And then the final card. I am not saying yes. Credits, none. I exported it with the timecode embedded in the corner because I wanted those numbers there like a judge. I printed a cue sheet like a mini manual. HDMI primary, HDMI backup, sound at plus 10 decibels, house lights at 60%, fade to black at the end of the last card. I packed 2 mirrored USBs, an SD card, and a spare laptop with the file offline. My brother was on projector duty. My friend Quentin was on door duty in case anyone tried a rescue mission by unplugging cords. I gave the coordinator her tip early with a thank you note so she would not question a single instruction when things got tense. I told the videographer there would be a private letter reading right before the vows and asked him to power down the cameras during that 2-minute window so we could have a moment. Translation: no vendor would have a master copy of that clip. Just the room. The DJ did his sound check. I handed him a USB with 2 identical copies because I have been betrayed by flash drives before. I slept like a guy with a plan and a calendar event titled Presentation at Venue. The day was all clean, sunlit places that smell like fresh laundry. Her mom hugged me like I had rescued her from a burning building. Her dad gave me the firm grip and squeeze handshake. Proud of you, son. I felt those words like a weighted bar. I was about to drop it. Natalie looked exactly how you want your fiancé to look that day. She had that glow people talk about like it is a skincare product. If I showed you a picture, you would say, How could you walk away from that? Answer, with my feet. During the rehearsal, I studied the exits like a field engineer. I parked my car facing out. Go bag in the trunk, documents, ring box, change of clothes, toothbrush, charger, folder labeled return items. I gave my brother a key and texted him at T-5 to post up by the ballroom door. If anyone wanted answers, they were going to be chasing a ghost. We did the first look photos. My smile is real. Not because I was happy, but because I was already done. I never understood monologuing villains. Do the thing and leave. The guests were seated. The officiant cleared his throat. I could feel 140 people leaning into a moment none of them saw coming. I stepped up, took the mic, and said, "Before we begin, I prepared a little something for Natalie and all of you. It has been a wild, beautiful road to get here. I wanted to show a few memories. People love a video." Everyone turned. Phones went up. The DJ hit play. It started slow, our hiking clips, her laughing as my dog stole a sock. My dad wiped a tear. Her mom folded her hands in her lap. Natalie looked at me like I had just proven I was the sentimental type. At 1 minute and 32 seconds, the screen went black. For half a second, people thought it was a joke. Then the room went dead silent. Programs dropped to the floor, and nobody reached for a cord because nobody wanted to own that blast radius. Then the rooftop appeared, then the title card, then the final card. I am not saying yes. I handed the mic back to the officiant, who looked like he wanted to climb inside his book and live there. I took it again. Natalie stood up so fast her chair scraped the floor. She was already shaking her head, face pale, eyes like emergency lights. She said, "I just wanted to taste the cake before I started the diet." Yep, that was the line. The sentence she chose to say in front of God, family, my high school shop teacher, and a room full of people with camera rolls waiting for content. I do not hate many things, but I hate metaphors that try to cheat. My brain did that stutter step of, this is real. What do you even call it when someone says something cartoonish in the middle of a crisis? I replied, that is not cake. That is you finding a loophole in your own vows a month early. And just for the record, diets start on Monday. You did this on a Saturday. A few people laughed. I did not smile. I had not earned a laugh yet. She latched onto my jacket, crying fast and wet, like she had filed that emotion under sudden. It did not mean anything, she said. It was just a game. Games have rules, I answered. You broke ours. I looked at her father because I wanted him to know this was not about humiliating his family. Mr. Harold, your checks were cashed. The vendors are paid. Please eat. The staff worked hard. He gave a single, small nod, like his neck weighed 70 pounds. I did not stay. My brother stepped into my path like a left tackle. We walked the exact route I had studied. Side hall, service corridor, loading dock door. The coordinator met me with a nod and handed me the envelope of vendor gratuities I had prepaid in case someone tried to cancel service out of spite. I handed it back. Already covered. Then I was outside. Sun on concrete. The car started on the first try. I walked off stage. The phones were still up. Some people were half standing, as if the moment could be put back in the box if they just committed to the posture. My brother, his projector duty done, moved with the speed of someone who knew his exact role. He put a hand on my shoulder like a checkpoint. My mom was crying, not for Natalie, but because moms cry when their son stops being a kid in a single minute. Natalie came after me. Yes, in the dress. Yes, crying. Yes, saying my name like it was a password. We were moving down a hallway half flanked by flower buckets. She caught the hem on a doorstop and let out a curse. She grabbed my arm. Please, she said. It was nothing. As if repeating it enough would turn lies into facts. I kept walking. I did not run, did not slam doors, did not give a parking lot speech or throw the ring off a bridge like in a music video. I got in the car. My dog jumped into the back and stuck his head between the seats like, "We going for a ride?" We went for a ride. As I pulled away, the DJ put on something soft, because that is what you do when you need to fill a silence that has already been ruined. I did not look in the mirror. At my brother's house, I did the logistics nobody writes songs about. I froze the shared wedding email so no new invitations could go out in our name. I canceled my card from any vendor auto charges. I put the ring in the box from the invitation kit, printed a short inventory, and left the box by the door. I forwarded my mail hold request and changed the garage keypad code. People think revenge is heat. It is checklists. If you are hoping for shouting, you are going to be disappointed. The world, most of the time, ends quietly. I drove to my brother's with the ring in the glove box and the video file still open on my laptop because I forgot to close it, and it felt like leaving the oven on. My phone filled up like a clogged sink. Missed calls from Natalie, then her mom. A text from her dad. We will handle her. I am sorry. That was the whole message. I do not know if I have ever seen so much weight in 4 words. My dad sent me a picture of a steak he had made for me. I did not go. I sat on my brother's couch and watched my dog bark in his sleep as the house settled. I turned my phone off. The next morning, I called the venue and asked about the vendor tips. Already paid. I sent the coordinator an email thanking her for not panicking and explaining that the video choice was not meant to punish the staff or the guests. She wrote back, "Believe it or not the first wedding I have seen not make it to the finish line. You handled it the cleanest I have ever seen. That is both comforting and terrifying." Graham called and asked if I wanted to talk about potential fallout. I told him I was not posting the video anywhere. I was not sending it to her job. I was not sending it to her church. I was not blasting it to cousins or group chats. I showed it one time to an audience that included every relevant party. They could decide how to process it. I was stepping out of the narrative. He said, "That is as close as you are going to get to an honorable exit in a dishonorable situation." I thought of it that way until she brought her classroom account into it and painted me as the villain on the page parents follow. 2 days after the non-wedding, I woke up to 5 screenshots from acquaintances. Her close friends were posting "support your girl" messages with that vague tone people use when they want attention without facts. The real problem was the 6th screenshot from Natalie's Teacher Life Instagram, the one parents follow for classroom updates and supply lists. Under a selfie with a stack of children's books, the caption read, "When you survive an emotionally controlling partner and still show up for your students." The comments were full of praying hands, and "We are so proud of you. If you are going to lie, do it in your private group chat. Do not bring your job into it, and park it where parents live." I called Graham. "She is using her school-linked account to build a domestic abuse narrative," I said. "And parents follow her there." He exhaled. "Still, you do not send the video to a mob," he said. "You want clean hands. One message to the right channel. Factual, no adjectives, no demands. Reference their professional conduct policy. If they do nothing, that is where it ends." "Got it," I said. No campaign, no subtweeting, just one email. I created a throwaway address with my name. Subject, professional conduct concern regarding Natalie, last name, 2nd grade. The body was boring and surgical. Date, time, venue, a view-only link with the embedded timecode, and the note that it came from uploads made by her own party to an event album linked to our shared wedding email. I cited the district's policy on off-duty conduct that materially undermines public trust when made public. I wrote a single line about intent. "I am not seeking publicity. I am informing HR for policy review." I signed off, adding that there would be no further correspondence unless requested by HR. Then I sent the email and closed the laptop. I attached a 1-page appendix, still frames, hashed file names, and the platform's activity export. The faces of other guests were redacted. All clinical. If HR wanted the sauce, they could watch the clip like everyone else. The screenshots of her post were dated and showed the number of parent followers circled. People forget that teacher account plus public accusation equals a migraine for human resources. They put her on paid administrative leave in under 48 hours. After review, HR sent a letter of termination/non-renewal for material deviations from professional conduct. An HR rep left me a voicemail to confirm authenticity. Graham told me to call back, answer, yes, and hang up. Done. Natalie tried to call me 8 times. I did not answer. On Saturday, my brother and 2 friends came over to help me build a shelf in the garage and inhale a pile of deli sandwiches. We were outside, tools everywhere. One of those days where you fix small problems to make the big ones sound quieter. Natalie's CRV pulled up like a scene change. She parked crooked, half on the curb. The wedding hair was gone. So was the wedding face. She stalked up the driveway with a manila folder in her hand like a process server and the look of a main character. "Why did you send it to my job?" she said, no hello. I wiped my hands on a rag. "Because you brought your job into this," I said. You posted about me on the account your students' parents follow. That made it their business. HR got the facts. They made a decision. I did not fire you. That is called cause and effect. She pointed the folder at me. You ruined my career. Graham stepped out of the garage. Of course he was there, holding a torque wrench like a scepter. Careers do not disappear over nothing, he said. They disappear over conduct plus perception. HR is not sentimental. Quentin, my friend who thinks he is a comedian, leaned against the workbench. Also, you remember the part where you said you wanted to taste the cake before the diet? Quentin, I said. He held up a hand and stood down. My brother raised his phone. No, we are not doing a scene, I said. Leave your speech on the curb. Natalie looked at all of us like we were furniture that refused to move. You are all garbage, she said. You think this makes you men? Ganging up on one woman. No one is ganging up on anyone, I said. You came to my house uninvited after losing your job over your own video. If you want to yell, do it on the sidewalk. This is private property. She locked onto me. You could have forgiven me, she said. We could have worked through it, but you had to humiliate me. You humiliated yourself, I said. I just pressed play. It was just kisses, she said. It was just my wedding, I replied. Graham cleared his throat. Lawyer voice on. Natalie, you are trespassing after being asked to leave. You have two options. Walk back to your car, or I call the non-emergency number and get this on record. She laughed, a short, sharp sound. Get it on record? What? Are you going to file a restraining order because I came to talk? I am now, I said. You keep showing up. You keep calling from new numbers. You keep waiting outside my gym. And yes, I like a paper trail. She tried another tactic. Her voice dropped. We were good, she said. You were stable. I panicked. I made a mistake. Your mistake had 3 camera angles, Quentin said. He held up his hand and stood down. I looked at her one last time. Leave, I said. I am done saying lines in your play. She stood there just long enough for it to be awkward. Then she turned, went back to her car, and peeled out like the curb had insulted her. 2 hours later, she emailed a list of demands, registry gifts, half the tips I paid, and a threat to expose me. I replied once, briefly, wedding canceled pre-ceremony. No community property. Gifts stay with purchasers or are returned. Tips were mine, and any harassment will be funneled through counsel. I attached copies of vendor receipts and the venue cancellation addendum. People get messy when they do not like the numbers. The calls kept coming. New numbers, messaging apps, fake emails. I blocked and logged everything. The doorbell camera caught her twice, late, standing at the end of my driveway like she was thinking of rehearsing a sermon. She sat in my gym's parking lot for an hour, 3 days in a row. I ignored it until the 3rd day. I walked out, turned around, walked back in, and asked the manager to log that she had been there without working out. It felt petty. It also felt like evidence. I took everything to Graham. He loves binders. We made a timeline, dates, times, descriptions, screenshots, printed, not just saved. Doorbell clips downloaded and burned to a simple USB labeled with the date. I filed a police report for unwanted contact, via non-emergency, to establish a record. The officer was bored in that polite way cops are when the world is not on fire. He took notes and gave me an incident number. Court day was not cinematic. Records room, plastic chairs, buzzing lights. She brought character letters and called it a misunderstanding. I brought the binder. The judge skimmed it, watched 10 seconds of the rooftop video, then the note from the gym parking lot, then my call logs. He asked if I had warned her. I showed him the one text. He nodded once, like a stamp. Order for 1 year. No contact. No third-party contact. 100 yards. It fit on 3 lines of a form. 1 year, no contact, 100 yards. Signed and done. The paperwork beat the drama, and the order lived on a single page instead of in my voicemail. I changed my routines for a while because I am not stupid. Drove different routes, parked in different spots. Told my neighbors if they saw her CRV idling, they could give me a heads up. Then I got back to my life, because staring at a fence is still staring. You want the moving on part without an inspiring soundtrack? Fine. I sold the ring for less than I paid because that is how it works. I finished the truck lift and took it on a trail that did not care about my problems. I automated my bills, cleaned out the garage, and taught my dog a useless trick involving touching a target with his nose. I booked a solo trip and did not post about it because the point was not anyone's applause. The maid of honor called me from a block number a week later to clear the air. Translation: begged me to withdraw the email to HR. I told her there was nothing to withdraw. HR did its own review from a link that still lives on their servers. She switched to bargaining. I hung up. 10 minutes later, she texted, apologizing for the mix-up. I filed it with everything else. Mix-ups do not come with timestamps. Decisions do. The district mailed me the decision because I was the complainant. 2 paragraphs. Off-duty conduct made public. Erosion of trust. It did not feel like a win. It felt like paperwork doing its job. She tested the order with a spoofed number. I replied, "You are violating a court order. Go away now." I called non-emergency, gave the case number. The patrol car documented and moved on. Before it all died down, she tried one Hail Mary. Dusk, curb, on her knees in my driveway, like she was proposing to the sidewalk. No speech, just buffering. She pleaded for 5 minutes. Therapy, a factory reset. Swore she had benched the bridesmaids, deleted party apps, confessed to her parents. She offered a post-nup, location sharing, counseling, Sunday apologies. She said she wanted the boring stuff back. Kids, Costco runs, a mortgage on autopay, a dusty dress, the ring and dent still there. Desperation with receipts. I did not move. I held up the restraining order and pointed to the distance like an umpire. "Are you inside?" Phone on speaker, dialing non-emergency, screen to the sky. The doorbell camera had the angle. She kept talking over the hold music, stacking promises like coupons. I kept my hands steady, my voice flat. "You need to leave." Dispatch picked up. I gave the case number. She broke. Offered to read a statement on camera, call the district, retract everything, donate a kidney. I took a step back to keep the distance clean. There is no version where you cross the line. She finally shuffled to the CRV, breathing in hitches, and drove off as the patrol car rounded the block. I took the prepaid box to the post office. Ring insured. Signature required. I made the late drop-off like a side quest. I emailed the maid of honor and her parents. No contact. Cease and desist attached. Incident on record. Blocked the new numbers. Revenge was not noise. It was paperwork, timestamps, and boundaries that do not blink. She pleaded. I enforced. Then I made a sandwich. Comment. Looking back on all of this, I know the story is intense. But if there's one thing I hope you take away, it's the importance of respecting your own boundaries. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do is to choose integrity when it's the hardest path to walk. True strength isn't found in loud arguments or dramatic scenes. It's in the quiet resolve to honor your values, even when it means walking away from a future you once planned. Life will inevitably throw difficult choices at us. The key is to build a foundation of self-worth so strong that no storm can wash it away. You protect that foundation not with anger, but with clear, deliberate action. Ultimately, it's about creating a life where you can be proud of the person you see in the mirror every morning. Take care of yourselves out there. If you like the stories, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.